Good morning. Creation Rebel. I think I might turn the phone back around because I don't want it to cut out in the middle of this, because this is going to be really good. JD Nija, Word of Truth, thanks for being here on my channel. Word of Truth. What? All praises, honor, and glory to the Most High Heavenly Father, Yahweh, the only begotten Son, Jesus Christ, Yeshua, Yahweh Shai, the great I am in bodily form, and the Holy Spirit that comes as a indwelling spirit to let us know that the I am is for real. And if you have the Spirit, you will know it. And if you don't have the Spirit, you might think you have it, but you don't, like GMS. Or you could act like you have it because you know the language, the lingo, and you can fool fools. But we're not fools here on this channel. We're wide awake, and we are aware of all the devices of these devils. Pretty good coffee today. So we're talking about what happened yesterday was I know what they always do. That's they throw Proverbs at me, and the one that they love to throw is how's it go? Don't argue with a fool, because then you'll just be a fool, or something like that. And I'm like, all right, you're gonna call me the fool, huh? All right. So when I was leaving my gathering place with my friends yesterday, I saw that message on my comments, and I'm so tired of these guys just talking crap. So I opened to Proverbs, and this is what I opened to, and I sent this back to them. And so this is where we're at. This is how my life rolls. It's all about the Spirit, and it's all about fighting with these devils. I'm a warrior. And so I opened up and I looked, the ways of the harlot. In verse 11, I sent him this. She is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Now is she without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. And I said, sound familiar? The Lord pulled that up for me perfectly, and I went, wow, that's hilarious. These corner boys, these harlots. Man, I bopped them. So I'm going to turn the phone around, because I don't know if this thing's going to cut out on me or not. So you can watch people go by while I'm the parade of people here at Bolsa Chica State Beach, while I read the ways of the harlot. The ways of the harlot, the ways of Black Hebrew Israelites, the ways of Creflo Dollar, the ways of T.D. Snakes, the ways of Joyce Myers, the ways of this harlot that is leading people to their own destruction. You can hear the guy waxing his board over here, right? He can't just go over there in the sand, but he has to do it right here by his car. But anyhow, so I'll just read through this. This is Proverbs chapter 7, verse 6, the ways of the harlot. So this is talking about a woman, but it's also like I showed you in Leviticus, in Numbers, Judges, Hosea. Israel is a lot of times described as a harlot because she follows after all these other gods, Kemet, Catholicism, These religions that aren't really teaching you what Yahushua wants you to know. They're teaching you, Black Hebrew Israelism is teaching you to only feel good if you're a Negro, Native American, or South Central American native, or someone of the islands. And then you have what Mormonism, that is just some kind of strange. I'm not going to go into that. You'd have to study Mormonism. It's an interesting proposition, being that now that we know that the northern tribes were here, that either that Smith guy was super smart or he was supernaturally endowed. That's still up in the air, and a lot of people think it's demonic and it's wrong, but I read some of the Book of Mormon, and it seems a little contrived, but at the same time, we know Ephraim and Manasseh and these other tribes came over here. So the Book of Mormon, now that it's more clear with the 12 tribes chart, that these Native Americans probably, for most aspects, are Israel. They're the northern tribe that was separated from Judah and Benjamin and Levi. And so I'm not going to, I kind of went off the base there, but yeah, there's a lot of these other religions, and that's what's so confusing, is if you just stick to the Bible and believe the Bible and read it for what it says, you'll know that there's only one true creator, and there's only one true deliverer, and he's the same dude, but coming in different forms, because he can do whatever the fuck he wants, because he's the one that made it all. He's telling the story, he is the story, and he's going to end the story. And if you read the Bible correctly, you can adjust your belief system so that your will and his will are congruent, so that you can be reconciled back to him when he comes to slap everyone around for not understanding and not being able to read a book or listen to people that will read the book to you and explain it to you. And he's going to take his people that know him, and he's going to set them on one side, and he's going to take the people that don't know him, and he's going to set them on the other side. And it's going to be a very horrendous proposition for the ones that don't know him. So that's the reason I'm here every day teaching this Bible, because I want you to know him like I know him, because even I fear him, and I'm doing this for me. Mainly I'm working out my own salvation with fear and trembling, and I'm hoping that you do the same thing. So let's go into these harlots, these people that follow other gods. Proverbs 7 verse 6, "For at the window of my house I looked through my casement, and beheld among the simple ones, I discerned among the youths a young man void of understanding, passing through the streets near her corner, and he went the way to her house in the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark of night. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot and subtle of heart." So I'm going to stop right there for a minute, and we'll go through some of these verses. So he looked out his window, and he saw down below on the corner youths void of understanding. They don't understand. They don't get it. And it could be talking about the corner boys themselves, or it could be the ones that are just wandering around, these dummies, that have been told all kinds of different things. Is this guy going to surf, or is he going to just get ready all day? Funny. Passing through the streets near her corner, and he went the way to her house. So they stop on the corner, and they're in the house of GMS or Sakari. They're in there They're in their area and they're falling under their spell, right? Okay. In the twilight, in the evening, in the black and dark of night. So that's not talking about it was dark. It was actually dark. It was saying we are in the valley of the shadow of death. We are in the dark place. Everything is darkness out here. And the reason it's dark is because everyone is void of light. So when you read this, you can, it's dual meaning, and that's where sometimes GMS has it right. They're saying you got to know the spiritual meaning of things, right? So this is one of those things where you have to know that the Proverbs were written by Solomon, and Solomon was the wisest man in the world. This is full of double meanings, dark sayings, and things like that. And that's where probably I should stay more, because that's where my expertise lies, is in these spiritual verbiages and nouns and stuff like that. I'm not going to break it down like they break it down, because I'm doing it mostly through the Spirit. I'm not going to look up the word and try and convince you, right? That's what it means, okay? Because when I see them do that, and I've started to realize that they were doing that to lead people astray, it's like, that's the last thing I'm going to do, is start, I do it once in a while to make a point, but very seldom will I just pull a word and go, okay, let's look into this word and what's it mean and blah, blah, blah. These guys do that constantly because they think that they can, they know that they can lead you astray by getting you to believe, right? Okay. Damn, the more I see people that aren't overweight, the more I want to be not overweight anymore. Yeah, so that's that. I'm a harlot for food. I have a hard time not having food as a comfort. So I'm a glutton, is what you would call me. One of my biggest sins is gluttony, and I'm trying to get that under control. There's a confession for you. And behold, there met him a woman with the attire of a harlot and subtle of heart. Where do we hear that? Subtle of heart. The devil, when he tempted Eve, he was the most subtle beast of the field. So when you think of subtle, that means very cunning in speech. And that's where we see GMS at their best. They were born to be devils, and they show their devilness in the way that they deceive people. It's almost like being put in a trance by a snake. That slithering tongue in the eyes, next thing you know, you're hypnotized. She is loud, verse 11, she is loud and stubborn. Her feet abide not in her house. Okay, so loud and stubborn. Is GMS and Sakari and these guys loud? Yeah, they're out on the streets with bullhorns. What else does it say? She abides not in her house. So instead of just being where they are all the time, where are they? Some of them go to the same park, and I like that. But this camp idea, this idea that they have to be out on the streets yelling at people, that's what this is talking about, and that's why I threw that verse at him. She is loud and stubborn. What's it say about stubborn? Rebellious. So when we think of the harlot, these Israelites, they're a stiff-necked, rebellious people. They won't turn their head and listen. Their neck is stiff and their head is straight ahead, and they're plowing through like a beast. And and they're leading people off that cliff like lemmings by never addressing their sin. And that's why I think the Lord told me, tell them about your sin, J.D. Nija. I have a hard time not eating so much, and that's one of my biggest sins is gluttony. So these guys, their biggest sin is talking nonsense about the Lord and leading people into their black nationalist mind frame that isn't biblical, but their words are so subtle, and their doctrine is charming or whatever. It's like a snake. You're being charmed. You're being put in a spell. It's a magic spell. The way they put it together. Now she is without, now in the streets, and lieth in wait at every corner. Who's that talking about? These corner boys. They're always on the corner. They call them corner boys because that's what they do. They wait on the corner for people to come by that they can throw this doctrine at that is very attractive. And a lot of it's true. But at the same time, they're bringing you in and pushing you away at the same time. Come, listen to us real Hebrew Israelites. Let me tell you, we're the real ones. And let me tell you, you're going to go to hell because you're white. You're an Edomite. You're wicked. You're evil. Who's your father? Where were you born? Are you an Ashkenazi? Those Jews over there aren't the real Jews. It doesn't really matter who they... I gave you a song yesterday, Wailing Souls. What is what? You don't know what is what or who is who. If you check a book by the cover, it only means you are assuming. So, Bread and Pipe had it right. They're like, I listened to that song, I don't know, that song's 30 years old now. And I knew these things from back then. It's like, and the Hebrew Israelites actually got me thinking I knew who's who and what's what. I don't do that anymore. If you don't hear what I say, then I know you're not spiritual. That's how I judge it now. I have the truth. I am bringing forth the truth. So there's that. They're stubborn, and they abide not in their house. They lieth wait on every corner. And so she caught him and kissed him, and with an impudent face said unto him, I have peace offerings with me. This day I have paid my vows. That's what I was just talking about. They claim all these things that seem to be true because they have these outfits on and they're out on the street and the end is near and all this crap. So it's like, wow, maybe these guys are prophets. Yeah, false prophets. You got to be careful. Therefore came I forth to meet thee diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee. So what are they doing? They're out there diligently looking for people they can destroy. That's why it says, therefore I came forth to meet thee diligently to seek thy face, and I have found thee. They aren't looking for people to, they're not bringing anyone into a love relationship with the Heavenly Father. They are causing division. They're causing a hatred. They're causing confusion with some of their doctrines. They're mixing some really good doctrine with some really bad doctrine, which will fool a fool. It will deceive a deceiver. So I'll go on. Verse 16, I have decked my bed with coverings of tapestry, with carved works, with fine linen of Egypt. You see all the graven images on their thumbnails. You see the different tapestry on their garments. They show themselves a certain way, especially I think it's ISUPK or Sakari. They both wear really elaborate garments to fool you into thinking that they're spiritual. That's just a visual trick that they're using. Just like the snake uses his eyes and his tongue and the movement of his head to hypnotize you. They use these garments and these fringes and these thumbnails to put you in a trance. I have perfumed my bed with myrrh, aloes, and cinnamon. Come, let us take our fill of love till the morning. Let us solace ourselves with loves. That's basically falling into the trap and going, I like this Hebrew Israelism. I feel special now. I'm Native American ancestry, or I'm Negro, or I'm of the islands. I'm a Jamaican. I'm probably a Benjamite. It's very, very attractive. And that's the good part of it is, yeah, but now what are you going to do with it? Are you going to be a hateful harlot? Are you going to be stiff-necked and not listen to the rest of the book, and you're going to listen to these guys tell you how awesome you are and how wicked everyone else is, and you're going to go around the world going, oh, I got to stay away from these Edomites, they're wicked, or this person or that person, and you get caught up in that kind of nonsense. For the good man is not at home, he has gone a long journey. That is Yahushai. That's the I am. The I am is not around right now to put people in order. So what he does is he has men like me that are doing their best, that are, no one's listening because they're like, who cares? The good man's not here. Who the fuck are you? Well, I'll tell you what, he's my big brother, and when he gets back, he's gonna kick your fucking ass. That's all I can say is, in my mind, in my heart, in my spirit, in my soul, what the Lord tells me, he says, he told me, you're one of mine, dude. You're of Benjamin, of Judah. And I went, whoa. So I'm riding on that. I'm one of his, and you can either go with that or not. All I have to do is get the blood off my hands, and that's what I do every day. I'm determined to tell the story correctly, and get people who will listen to follow him through me. You're following him. You're following the good man is not at home. He has gone on a long journey. He has taken a bag of money with him and will come home at the day appointed. So whenever you hear GMS talk about this, it's always about some bitch. It's like, oh yeah, the husband's gone, and while he's gone, she's gonna go sleep with someone else. No, it's talking about Yahushua, you dumb niggas. And with her much fair speech, she caused him to yield. With the flattering of her lips, she forced him. So that's where I was talking about their lips, right? Okay. The word means this, okay. And this means that, okay. All right. All right. Man, come on, man. All right. That's what they do. Their speech is a trap. And if you listen to them long enough, you'll hear them say, right, okay, all right. You'll hear them say that over and over again, because they're priming the pump so that you'll believe what's coming and what's coming, right. They get you following down a path, and you're like, yeah, this is the right path, right, okay. And it puts doubt in your mind, because you're like, why do they keep telling me all right, okay? No, it's not all right, and it's not okay. And that's what I'm doing. I hear him say that. I'm like, no, it's not all right. So I'll just go on. She forced him. With flattering of her lips, she forced him. What's it say? 21. Her enticing speech, like I said, very enticing, very seducing, very hypnotizing, very charming. They got these deep voices and calm demeanor and right, okay, right.